Hello everyone and welcome back to $5 Fridays with Taemond. Today we will be playing Jamestown Legend of the Lost Colony. Now this is a game I picked up on the Steam summer sale for $2. The only thing I know about Jamestown is that it's a bullet hell game or bullet shooter game with a pixel art design and steampunk theme. Now I'm very much a fan of these bullet hell bullet shooter games. When I was younger I used to play these on arcade machines that were in the cinema. In fact I used to go to the cinema sometimes just to play these games instead of actually to see a movie. So let's see if this can revoke some of those fond memories I had. Now I've watched the tutorial since you have to do that first before you play the game. It's pretty self-explanatory. Shoot things, don't get shot. Get as much score as possible. So, without further ado, let's start the game. Also, this is an alternate history game, if I remember correctly from reading it. So if you read there at the bottom, British territory, Martian invades. Yep. Very much a fan of alternate history as well, so this game is sounding quite promising. Let's see if the gameplay can deliver as well. Let's pick normal. It's nice to see that normal is the lowest difficulty, and then they've just got extremely difficult. It goes to extremely difficult. I can't even pick judgment yet. Let's start on normal. Don't want to fail too hard while on camera. Now also, this can be played with a mouse or keyboard as well as a controller. Note mouse or keyboard, it can be played with the keyboard standalone, mouse standalone, or a controller standalone. I'll probably play with the controller, but I'll test it out with mouse and keyboard as well to see if that works fine. Hold any key buttons. And it appears Jamestown has crashed. Excuse me for one moment. Welcome back everyone. It turns out the cause of the crash is that Jamestown doesn't like multiple monitors very much. Which in my case I used 3 monitors, so it didn't like it even more. Simple solution, turn the other monitors off. Or you can just leave them and hope it doesn't crash. So simple fix, can't really criticize the game for that. Let's begin. As I said before, I'll be trying this with mouse, keyboard and controller to see if they all work equally as well. I would probably end up using a controller since it's just what I like for these types of games. I like using analog control, and buttons are just very satisfying. Bring back the nostalgia of the arcade machines. Excellent. Looks like you can have multiple players per level as well. Looks very interesting. Not sure if you can swap controls in game, so let's just try keyboard. Looks like it locks the controls. Nice to see there's a certain selection of ships as well. You can probably unlock those later. I must admit though, it is a little disappointment it locks the controls to whatever you choose at the start, but I'm presuming that's for local co-op. So it looks as though you can have one person on keyboard, one person on mouse, and plug in 2 Xbox controllers if you really wanted to, or any other alternative controller. I must say I'm really loving this background at the moment. I have a bit of a soft spot for pixel games, particularly bullet hell pixel games. There's just something that brings back that feeling of fun from my childhood of playing these types of games in the arcades and at the cinema. Also, I must say the music is very nice. Very nice orchestral score. The menu music as such is quite nice if you listen to it for quite a while. I could listen to this for quite a while as well. Also, nice writing. Sometimes games like this that really don't need to focus on storyline. The writing and storyline are very poor as a result. And although this is an alternate history involving Martians, the writing is nice, which is a good change. Although a game like this doesn't really need a storyline, but we'll see how the gameplay is. Achievement unlocked. Gotta love them achievements. Like most bullet hell games, you really can't pick up everything on your first pass. I must say, this is extremely fun at the moment. I'm using the keyboard, and the controls are brilliant. But like most games in this genre, I've found that the keyboard controls tend to feel a little slow. Not sure what that is for, but we'll test out the mouse later. And the game has frozen again. I shall get back to you shortly. Hello everyone and welcome back again. I'm terribly sorry about this, but it appears that the game keeps crashing. My other monitors are disabled, so that shouldn't be causing it. Certainly a very odd case that we have here. Not sure why a game like this should crash. But at least this gives me an opportunity to test out the Xbox controller now. Well, movement speed seems to be the exact same as the keyboard, so it's nice to know it's consistent. Looks like there's one straggler down there trying to follow me. Not on my watch. Is me or is that boss monster different? Or mini boss, I should say. Yeah, there I just missed it the first time. I did choose normal difficulty again, just for the sake of showing you the game. So, firstly and most importantly, the gameplay. The gameplay in this is what makes the game. If shooting things isn't fun, then moving around isn't exactly going to be very fun either. This is the only other thing this game does. Now that is very cool. So yes, back to the gameplay. Gameplay, very tight. Movement speed does feel a little slow, but this is a bullet hell shooter, so precision seems to be more important than anything here. Looks like you get stars based on how well you do. Not sure how often I can use that attack. Yes, gameplay is very tight, very satisfying. The bullets hit things nice, the effects are nice, and leading on to that we should discuss the visuals. The pixel look in this game is brilliant. The aesthetic, lovely. There's always something going in the background. Now we get to our first boss. I'm hoping this is some proper bullet hell nonsense here. Yes, gameplay, brilliant. The sound design, as well as the graphic design, is amazing as well. The soundtrack is brilliant, excellent orchestrations. So nothing too hard at the moment, but it is only on normal and this is the first level. I imagine it will get absolutely ridiculous. on the higher difficulties, such as we saw before, like Legendary. Alright, here we go. Now things are starting to get a bit serious. Lovely, lovely score. Yeah, so sound, brilliant. Graphic design, brilliant. Soundtrack, brilliant. As far as I'm concerned, this is a very, very tight bullet hell shooter. Also, I found out there is the addition of co-op, so you can play with other people locally, which I imagine will be extremely chaotic. But unfortunately, the game seems to have crashed again. Well, in this case, we better wrap up the series. Not the series, excuse me, the episode. So, Jamestown. A very, very enjoyable bullet hell shooter. If you're into this sort of thing, you will find everything you'll love. Great detail, great soundtrack, and most importantly, really satisfying gameplay. Sadly, I didn't get to finish the level since crashing does seem to be a problem. I'm not exactly sure what's causing it, since before apparently it was dual monitors, but those are disabled. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. I will have to find out later, see if I can provide some information in the comments for you guys. So, that's all from me. Jamestown, currently $10 on Steam, although I have seen it on sale many times, so it might just be worth to wait. But $10. I'd pay $10 for this. Not sure how long the game is, but it's a brilliant bullet hell. Sound design, graphic design, gameplay design. All fantastic. This has been $5 Fridays with Taemond. Catch you later. Now to fix these crashes.